Hey, my friends, obviously there is a lot of hype going around because of the new Netflix series of The Witcher. A ton of people are replaying the game. A lot of people are getting into the game for the first time because of the TV series. And it doesn't hurt the fact that Steam and GOG are both having massive sales on the game so that you can pick up the Game of the Year edition for $15, which is freaking ridiculously cheap. Anyways, today's video is supposed to serve as a point for anybody who's replaying the game for, the fifth time or even the second time, to be quite honest, or anybody who's playing the game for the very first time. I wanted to go ahead and go through this video to show you how you can, if you're replaying, get a brand new experience out of the game, or if you're playing it for the first time, get something that's more akin to how the book or the series portrayed how The Witcher should behave. There's a few new mods that have come out that allow you to get a more realistic experience to the fantasy world than otherwise came in the original game, and allows to breathe some new fresh life into this game that came out in 2015, which is still amazing, still worth playing in its base form. But in case you're on your umpteenth replay, you can now have new life in that. So let's go ahead and talk about that after I tell you about today's video sponsor, Synergy. My friends, Synergy is a program that I use all the time. In today's video, I'm going to be controlling two different computers. I have the computer right over there that actually is playing the Witcher game, and then I have the streaming computer that I'm using to record all of this on. With Synergy, I'm able to use my mouse and keyboard on both seamlessly between the two. It's an amazing program. If you're using multiple computers, Synergy is something that you're going to want to set up just to make it so that you don't have to have a multiple keyboard and mouse scenario. Synergy is used by some of the largest companies in the world, including Salesforce, Apple, Pixar, and a lot of others. And you can pick it up today at the link in the video description, which is simless.com/synergy/UFD Tech. You can buy a Synergy One basic license for $29, or you can get one of their pro licenses for $39, and that includes SSL encryption. And I'm speaking just raw costs. You're not paying a monthly subscription. Synergy, one-time case, $29. There you go. And you could be like me, operating computers that are on two different desks at the same time in order to make a video. So in today's video, we're not actually going to be talking about how to make the game look better. The 2015 game still looks pretty phenomenal at ultra settings on PC, but if you want more of a specific how to improve it, you can check out our previous video, which we did on the topic right up there in the top right-hand corner. A lot of people had a few issues with this video, including the fact that it seemed like I was just saturating the colors a bit more, but as you can see, just based on looking at this video, one of the issues that we had back then was just color grading. We weren't very good at it. So you can see my face is poorly color graded, and then also the gameplay is color graded on top of that. So it creates this weird dynamic of where it looks like oversaturation is happening, but in reality, there is saturation happening, but it's not that bad. And the effects that are applied with reshade in this video did make it look better, in my honest opinion. And with a lot of people who saw it in person, it looked like a new, brand new game. So in case you want to check that out, you can do that. I'm just caveating a few things. I also want to say that anybody who wants The Witcher 3 for the first time, if you join our Discord, which is linked in the video description, and you DM me over on Discord, I'm going to give the first 3 people who DM me privately The Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition over on GOG. And in case you're wondering, GOG is owned by CD Projekt Red, but they make their games DRM free, which means you don't need to have an internet connection in order to play it. If you buy it on Steam, in case you install it on a new PC, you're going to have to go through verifying it with Steam. With GOG, if you buy it, you own it, install it wherever you want. So first 3 people who DM me on Discord will get that for free. So let's go ahead and talk about a few mods that have come out since the show has shown up. And then we'll get to the one that is the most important change, I think, in a little bit. The first one is just changing the icon of the game to match the symbol that is found in the Witcher series. So in case you want this, which obviously represents Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer, well, then you can have that as the icon for launching the game. You could do that yourself. Honestly, it's not that hard to modify an image file, but in case you want to do it with the mod, go to Nexus Mods and pick that up. Secondly, there is a new steel sword design that you can find at Nexus Mods as well, which replaces the steel sword with the one from the TV series. And then the last one that I just have to mention that's about the series, but I hate so much, is this mod that makes you Henry Cavill as Geralt. It disturbs me a little bit. Like this one with the beard, terrified of this one. This one right here, I think that one's okay. I like the little Krypton tattoo that he's got going on his neck. It's like the damaged Joker vibe going on there, but him with the beard creeps me out a bit. Anyways, in case you want Geralt to look like Henry Cavill, you have a mod for that as well. And a new mod that has come out in the last month or so is this worthwhile Gwent mod, which actually Gwent, in case you're not familiar because they didn't put it in the TV series, is a card game in the Witcher video game. It's something that a lot of people loved, and so CD Projekt Red went on to make a actual playable trading card game for Gwent that is a standalone thing. Anyways, this worthwhile Gwent mod makes it so that you can actually get loot, experience, and gold from playing Gwent, so that you're actually moving the character along as you're just sitting there playing with freaking cards, so that you're not wasting your time. But now let's go ahead and dive on into the main reason for this video, which is the Witcher 3 Redux mod, which came out on December 23rd. It's a new update that changes a whole host of different things to the game to make it more lore friendly and more like it is in the series as well as in the books, including a few things, changes to the sign intensity. So when Geralt's using Igni or Ard or Quen, I think that's how you say it, that it has different effects, but it also has a different way of scaling, and it has a different way of leveling up, which is a more akin to how things work in the book. And then also toxicity, or how you take potions, is more realistic with what you would expect from The Witcher. And I say realistic in accordance to the fantasy world that has been created. Anyways, the whole point is to make it so that it's more balanced like you would find in the regular world, with changes to reflect that. And we'll go through in the game and I'll show you just how that happens. But there's a few key things, just like the idea of silver swords. They're typically dropped as loot, or you can find them all over the place in the game. But because the silver sword is made for hunting creatures, it's supposed to be a rare item. Well, they've made it so that it no longer happens to occur as loot. You actually have to craft the actual silver sword in order to get one. It's not just something that is freely bequeathed to you. It's something that you now need to work for, which makes sense. So let's go ahead and switch over to the game and talk more about the changes that are made. Okay, so one of the big things that happens is that with guards or something of the like, you are unable to actually fight them because they are a higher level than you. I believe these guys are level 14 and I am currently level 1. Yep, there it is. But the way that they've made it is so that right now you can actually have a fair fight with him, but if you take a hit or two, it's going to knock you out pretty quickly. So it's more of a realistic fight that happens here, but that's not necessarily the big improvements. One of the things is that stamina is completely harder to generate in a fight, which makes complete sense. Like if you're fighting, you're not going to regenerate your stamina easily, and you need your stamina to actually make the signs, such as the Gwen sign that's happening right now. So I just used the Gwen sign. It's going to take me a while to catch back up to actually use it again. Ah, crap, I thought I killed him. And another big improvement is that they've made it so that you cannot regenerate health during battle by eating or drinking, which again makes more sense. Typically, I'm trying to press R or F to use my bread or water, and you can see it's not allowed during combat. That has been negated, which is the proper way of expecting a Witcher to do things. So I can complete this battle and then move on to show you a few more things along the way. Outside of battle, they've made it so that stamina never decreases, which is kind of sad for me because Roach is something that's beloved to the franchise, and one of the things that the TV series got completely wrong. Roach isn't always there for you. Sometimes he wanders off into the woods, and like if I call him right now, where's my Roach? Where's Roach? He went to the house. What the heck? Roach, that's not okay. It's now I want to move forward to something else that they've done, which is redesign the sign system. So instead of putting all of your points into your your sign tree in order to get the best performance out of your sign as possible, what actually happens is that you have to go to the places of power to draw from them. And if you want to advance down the list in any of these trees, you also have to go to the places of power in order to advance further. As you can see here, I cannot move forward, but let me go ahead and show you after I defeat this freaking Wraith. Which is something that you're not able to do this early in the game. Currently, I am still level 1. I'm on my way to talk to the Nilfgaardians, and that fighting this Wraith is usually a death wish at level 7. They've upped Geralt's base stats at level 1 to be more realistic, which obviously as a Witcher he'd be pretty strong to begin with, but they've made it so that the power curve, you start off higher but it tapers off and it's harder to advance, but in the end you're actually right around the same amount of power at the end of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this sign, and what we're going to find, if I can go ahead and just lock that down for a second, my Igni sign, which is what we're drawing right now, is at 120 damage. After I go to that place of power, what we find is that my Igni sign is now 262, and that's how you're primarily going to increase your signs, which again makes sense according to the lore. Now let's go ahead and check out the leveling system, which changes a few things as well. Okay, so I just progressed a little bit further into the first boss battle, which leads up to the Griffin, and I just got my first level. So if we go ahead and go and look, I'm currently level 2 and now I have 1 point available, but what they've redesigned with the skill tree is that there is only 1 point necessary in order to max out a given trait that you're trying to expand upon, which again makes somewhat sense. You're trying to get mastery over skills. You don't necessarily want to dump your next 5 points into freaking fast attack. You actually want a more balanced approach. So just doing one at a time means that you can access several different things, but also because you need to go to places of power to advance in the skill tree, it makes it a more even skill development experience across the board, with the signs primarily increasing in power based on how many places of power that you go to, and then all of your other combat skills, your sign skills, and alchemy skills being developed by you just putting 1 point in each of the branches, just kind of like the general points. So there you go. I put it into the quick attack, and then now I'm maxed out there. And if I want to move forward to the next one, I need to go to 6 more places of power in order to access the precise blows. So it allows you to spread your points across more diversely, and it makes sure that you're actually exploring the map and using your Witcher skills to find different places in order to become a more complete Witcher, which is obviously necessary and helpful for a lot of people. And again, you can check the Nexus Mods website to just see all of the different things that have been changed in this mod, but honestly, it creates a new experience with how you can play the game. So if you're going in for your 3rd, your 4th, your 10th replay of The Witcher 3 because you watched the series or because your friends are just starting to play it, this is going to change a lot of things in order to make it an actual different experience. And one of the things that you should also know is that they say that it has to be used on a new game. It will not work with New Game Plus, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, this is actually a pretty exciting mod that has come out in just the last few days that will allow you to experience The Witcher in a new dimension in case you're just getting started and you want to do something that's more challenging, or in case you want to replay it with a bit more variability in this. And if you want to check out how to make the game look better, you can follow our guide in the previous video. As I mentioned, obviously, everybody's going to have different tastes when it comes to how the game's looked. I prefer a slightly more saturated look, but I do think a lot of the saturation that came in the last video that we did happened to be from the color grading that we did in the video edit, not necessarily in the screen recording. I still like the way that everything looks, and I think it looks better with everything on, but that's obviously going to be subjective to a lot of people. Anyways, let me know what you think of this mod. Is this something that you actually will be checking out? Do you think this is helpful for playing the game for the 10th time that you're going to be moving forward with it? Is this something that you're excited for if you're just getting into the game, into the series because of the new Netflix show? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to check out Nexus Mods to find all of the different mods that you can use. Get the Geralt Henry Cavill face in case that's something you want to do, or just reconfigure a few things about the game to make it a more cohesive experience. I think it's pretty exciting that The Witcher is having new life breathed into it, and you can now get that for yourself, reinvigorated. There you go. And I also want to remind you to check out today's video sponsor, Synergy. They're allowing me to actually use 2 different computers. That gameplay was all done me sitting here. The computer is to my right, and the screen for that computer is also to my right. I physically can't access the desk from where I'm sitting in this chair, but with Synergy, I was able to use the same mouse and keyboard in order to get that done. So big thanks to them for sponsoring. Check them out at the link in the video description. And with that being said, I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Let me know if you want me to check out any more mods, any other games that you want me to explore. I'm keen to hear from you down below in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content, and I'll see you in the next one.